Hey there, this is Power Stroke Maintenance, and today I'm going to be doing a review underneath my truck of the new ball joints I installed. The only disclaimer I'll add here is that because I've only driven these ball joints 2,000 miles, this isn't so much of a review on, do these ball joints last? I've driven them 2,000 miles. The steering feels a lot better, a lot tighter. It did expose some other weak points in my steering, which I think is my steering box. But overall, they're a quality aftermarket upgrade, and you can see what they look like installed. They're definitely worth the upgrade, especially at that price point. But I don't know how durable they are. I haven't thrashed the truck yet, and I probably will be, because I have a couple shoots I'm going to where we have to basically drive up a ski road on a mountain, and so they will be getting worked pretty hard. So if anything bad happens, I will make sure to update you guys. But I think as far as ball joints go, they have a lifetime warranty. So am I worried about them wearing out? Sort of. Potentially, if I get another 100,000 miles and they're already worn out, like that would be a problem. So what we have here are the Kryptonite Products upper and lower ball joints. They come as a kit. They're around $200, and I ordered them online from No Limit Fabrication. I wanted to replace the ball joints as they are a wear item in an attempt to firm up my steering and tighten it up a bit. So the install of these was no short of a huge pain in the ass. So as many of you know, my brother Oliver is a mechanic, and so I actually hired him to do the install because he had some of the special tools needed to press the new ball joint into the steering arm and press the old ball joint out, excuse me. And so we did that job and we installed these ball joints, and I would definitely say that as a product that's out there, they're kind of in the mid-range, so they're still greasable. They're not just the OEM replacements. They are a step up, and Kryptonite Products offers you a no questions asked, full comprehensive lifetime warranty. So, within reason, if you send one back to them and it's broken, they will replace it for you. And they have grease fittings on all of them. So even the top one up here, you'll see, has a grease fitting on the bottom. We used a straight one for that one, and I'm just gonna use an angle grease gun attachment to get it, because if you used the 90 degree on the top one, it would have been snapped off by your U-joints for your 4x4 spinning around and around. All right, that's enough sitting underneath my truck on the grass. It's a lot better than working in the dirt, though, I will say. Those are kind of the pros for these ball joints. They're not as expensive as the Dana Tracks, which I believe are $600 for a set, which is quite a bit. These were $200 for a full set, and they did come with that warranty, which is actually what pushed me over the edge, because I was like, hey, I can replace my current stock ball joints with something that's upgraded. And literally in the warranty they say you can jump it, race it, take it off-road. Like, these are meant to be performance ball joints. So that is the pro of these. Now on the other side is the cons. Now I would say the biggest thing with putting in aftermarket ball joints is just how hard it is to do. So we spent a full 10-hour day doing both sides, and most of that time was with a hammer and a pry bar, taking off the stock rotor, prying the hub off, getting the old ball joints out of the steering knuckle. Like, it was a lot of work, and honestly, huge props to my brother for doing the job. I did pay him, but it was just a huge pain in the ass to do it, and to do it in the street in Denver without being in a shop. So I would say if you're going to attempt to do this yourself, it's a pretty ambitious install. We also had to replace the hub seals, because you have to knock the hub seals out and then you press new hub seals on and install those. And we ended up shearing off one of the 4x4 locking hub bolts, so I had to replace that. So there's a lot of parts that go into replacing the ball joints on this truck if you want to do it. So that's a huge con, is just like, it's a mission to replace these. Now for the second con. So I've driven these 2,000 miles. I drove them from Denver, Colorado out to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And on the first portion of my drive, I had gotten an alignment, and I had just rotated and balanced my tires and done an oil change, and my tire pressure was perfect, and the first part of the drive was amazing. And then I started to notice that there seemed to be play in my steering. Now, I don't think this is the ball joints because we did torque them to spec. We checked for flexion in the steering knuckle after they were installed, and they were solid, super solid, and way more tight than the ball joints that we took off. But what we did have to do was, you know, retorque everything down, take everything apart and put it back together. And I started noticing this like bit of play, especially when I'm going faster. Like I'll have to correct the steering wheel a lot, and like I'll feel maybe like a 1/4 inch of turn or a 1/2 inch of turn in the steering wheel before it pushes against the actual tires down on the road. So there's a little bit of looseness there, and I think it's the steering box. I don't think it's the ball joints. I think because the ball joints got tighter feeling and my front end snugged up, I'm now noticing what it takes to turn that front end, because I think these ball joints are a little tighter and stiffer than the OEM ones that were already, you know, pivoting and were probably kind of worn out. So that's my theory. It's really annoying. I don't know if anyone on here has had experience using those red head steering box upgrades and whether that's worth it. I saw in a forum that people tighten their steering box, but that's really risky to do. So if anyone has had experience with this, I guess, you know, the con here is when you take all your steering apart and put it back together, you're probably also going to find out that there's more shit that needs attention, which is just really annoying. So, you know, if your steering feels fine, just leave well enough alone and don't upgrade, because it's a huge pain in the ass to do so. Anywho, great ball joints thus far, great warranty. Well worth it if you want to do an upgrade and you don't want to pay a ton for parts, but you want to get something that's a greasable component. You know, just make sure either you're ready for a huge mission or you have a mechanic that you can hire to do the work for you and pay them, because it is a mission to do these ball joints and they could expose additional problems with your steering. That's enough yabbering, but thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you spending your time on my channel, and I will be having lots more videos coming soon. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, and we'll see you next time here on Power Stroke Maintenance. Cheers.